All right. Hey, Alex. Here's my Netnography assignment. I decided to look at ESPN, specifically their Instagram page, just because it's a place where people can go and kind of interact with the brand. And so the reason I picked ESPN is because I'm a big sports fan. But another reason is because I kind of wanted to dive into how they influence um, the world just because I am such a big sports fan, and I kind of wanted to use those ideas that we've learned about in Unit 3 to dive into it. And so the three concepts that I've come up with to analyze their influence and how it's kind of um, portrayed is I'm going to use semiotics, culture, and politics. So the first one on their Instagram page, ESPN's with semiotics, is there's a lot of different things. So there's jerseys, numbers, team colors, athlete names, just to name a few, that they post very regularly, and is very symbolic to ESPN as a whole. You know, they cover any kind of sports from football, basketball, swimming, cricket, even though it's not very popular. There's just a whole array of different things that they cover and they post. Um, and it's kind of the signifier, and it helps them be the official authority of sports, even though that's not really a name that people give to ESPN. But because of how influential it is, they have 28 million followers on Instagram alone. It's very popular and it is very influential. And it holds a lot, they hold a lot of power in shaping what audiences pay attention to, and kind of how they understand the events of sports as a whole. The second one with culture, obviously, sports are very important to a lot of people. You got the Super Bowl, you have March Madness, you have Friday night games for college football, um, or college game day. ESPN College Game Day is a really popular one too. And people base their lives around those kinds of things. You know, me personally, I don't really do a whole lot on Saturday besides watch football. And one of those reasons is just because it intrigues me and it makes me feel part of something. And that's what the Instagram page for Instagram kind of does, is they bring people in and you feel like part of a community. You know, you can talk with other football fans, other fanatics of sports, people who are fans of the team. It is a place to go when you're wanting to connect with people. And so ESPN does a really good job at that, and it's because of that culture that it brings, as well as those semiotics, the brand awareness and the recognition. Um, the last one, it may not make as much sense at first, but it's the political side. You know, because of all the power that ESPN has, it's able to push certain narratives. And one thing that I found very interesting about politics is it's not always about like the government politics, like whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, but politics is, finding a problem and acting on it. Like, and as you said, that often doesn't happen. And so I was thinking about like the politics for ESPN, and they want to save their image because they're a major brand. And so oftentimes, if some popular athlete does something that they don't like, that could hurt their image about posting about them, they kind of shun them. They don't post anything about them, or they stay away from controversial subjects. And so I thought that was pretty interesting, in within the marketplace of ideas. You know, they try to save their public image, and this is one that might not be as readily recognizable, but I thought it might be an interesting take to analyze the politics of the ESPN Instagram page, because there were athletes that I thought were very popular that I haven't seen them post about for a long time. Um, but others that are more popular, say NBA right now is very popular as it just got back into season, so they post a lot about like Steph Curry, his shoe brand, especially because he switched. But others, like back in the day when Tim Tebow was very popular, they didn't really post about him a whole lot. Maybe because he was a Christian, and the things he did, but maybe not. You know, I don't know the reason, but that is something that kind of played into it as well. So that's kind of my analysis on the ESPN Instagram page. People definitely like to go on there and make comments. People talk in memes and GIFs and all those things kind of like that. So thanks for the assignment. I hope this made sense. Thanks.